What's up? The Crystal Hive is here. Just want to do a disclaimer early. Those that don't know, live in Colorado. We have another blizzard coming through. So my internet's been a little spotty today. So if I drop out, please bear with me. Nothing I can control, nothing I can fix. So just bear with me. Because of that, I'm actually going to first start out with a huge thank you. I don't know who you are. I just want to send you an awesome thank you. I got a Stream Deck Mini off of my Amazon wish list. So actually putting that thing to use tonight. Got some quick hotkeys set up. For those of you that don't know what a Stream Deck Mini is or don't stream, who cares? It's going to make streaming much faster for me, much easier, and I should hopefully stop forgetting to add markers. So without further ado, I'm going to pull up my deck list here. So tonight I'm going to be playing with Morales, Millchester's Farmer. It's got pretty decent numbers across the board. I've been seeing a lot of hate for the statistics of decks. Always take my stat listings as with a grain of salt. They're not the Bible or whatever other unarguable text you feel like referencing. But the point of these stats is just to give you a quick snapshot of the deck. Obviously the best way to get to know a deck is to play it. So that's what we're going to do tonight. I'm only going to be playing this deck for the next hour and a half. So probably next 3 or 4 games depending on speed. 25 creatures. What? So, this deck, my only large creature deck, and it's incredibly fun to play. It's not infallible. I think I'm 13-3 with it, maybe 13-4. Has a pretty strong or pretty heavy weakness. We'll see if I face a deck that it is weak to tonight. Hopefully not, because I want to brag about this deck. While I leave this deck list up here, there aren't any main huge talking points, other than the fact that this is a Fagin deck. So Fagin allows you to recycle urchins, and this deck has 3 of them. So I'm going to pop back into game here. Let's add a marker, get this game started. I'm going to be first player. My cards are pretty small. I'm going to leave them small because this deck can build a pretty fast board, really wide board very quickly. Let's see. I don't really like this hand actually. I have 2 urchins off the bat, but I don't like urchins early, so I'm going to mulligan. And let's give this a go. I'm going to start by playing a Sanctum turn. This deck does have Epic Quest, and it has 7 Sanctum Knights. So if I can see all those Knights, it's pretty easy to get the Epic Quest off. Problem is any type of artifact hate ruins it, any type of board clear generally ruins it, but this deck also has an Arise. With that Arise, I can play all my Sanctum creatures, not worry if they actually get killed, and draw into that Arise to pull them back to set up my Epic Quest. I try not to let Epic Quest be a trap card. The reason I say that is because sometimes I get blinders on. I don't actually play optimally because I'm trying so hard to make that Epic Quest work. I'm going to try and make sure I don't do that. It's a deck I got to learn better. It's a deck that I need to continue to hone my skills in. And it's a deck, oh yeah, there goes Hysteria. So any type of board clear, consistent board clear is a pretty big bane to this deck. It does rely on creatures being able to stay out, because a lot of my effects are use triggers like fight, reap, action, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to pop up my deck list here real quick, because I need to change a setting. Bear with me. Okay, that should fix everything. I need to turn off my extensions and make sure it doesn't clog up the chat for anyone. Alright. I think now's a good time to play all of my Sanctum cards. Gonna drop a Champion Anafiel. Ooh, I'm not gonna end my turn there. Put a Staunch Knight to the right. I'm gonna play Sergeant Zakiel to the left. I will use him to fight and kill that Stealer of Souls. I'm also just going to play his Terms of Redress to get one extra card out of my hand. Probably could save that. Don't think it matters at this point. We both have 0 Amber and it's turn 3. So I want to just start getting the engine going. The awesome thing about this deck list is 11 of my 12 Shadows cards are creatures. 3 of which are Urchin, so on play, steal 1. 2 of them are Naughty the Thief, action, steal 1. 2 of them are Dodger, or fight, steal 1. And then I have a Moon Cursor, which is fight, steal 1. And then Fagin, which is reap, return an Urchin from play or your discard pile to your hand. So if my Shadows board gets set up and my opponent can't do much about it, I think it has potential to reap, if I get a full board, reap 11, or I think it's reap 5 and steal 6. It's pretty bonkers. I've never had a game where I've fully had it set up, but I've had a couple games where it's close. It's ridiculous. I've had opponents concede once I get that board set up. It does take a lot of things to line up though, so it's not something that's going to happen every game. Opponents in Untamed plays a Ritual of the Hunt, which allows him to play or use untamed creatures no matter what his house is. Let's see. I'm going to play Dis, and I'm going to get my Ember Imp out. I'm going to start building on the left flank, because I want to keep the Staunch Knight on the flank to keep that +2 power. Play a Terror, Stealer of Souls, and then I'm going to pop this Flame Wreathed on my Ember Imp to make it harder for my opponent to kill him. Felt like going with some more chill vibes today, so if you're liking the music, it's from a webpage / Spotify channel called Chill Hop. Got the idea from Run JD Run over at YouTube. Just some really calm, relaxing, chill vibes. Thus the name, Chill Hop. Alright, my opponent plays a Charette, captures 2 of my Amber. If they don't kill my Ember Imp, they've got 1 more card to play. Just played an Arise, so they can't play anything else. So the only thing they could do is use cards on the board. They could potentially use Ritual of the Hunt, but I don't think they would. Nope, they don't. So I'm going to play Dis. I am going to play Gongoozle to do 3 damage to the Schuler. Because it doesn't kill him, it discards a card, and I discard an Arise, so they had 2. I will then have my Ember Imp reap. I'm going to have my Stealer of Souls fight the Charette to kill it. Because it killed it, I gain an Amber and I purge the target of that fight. And then I'm just going to reap with this Terror. And I'm going to put a Snudge on the flank here. So I'm at check to my first key. Opponent's on 2 Amber, 0 keys. opponent plays Dis. So these Screech Bomb get me outside of Forge range. They play Stealer of Souls. And then they used Ritual of the Hunt to use the Niffle Ape to fight my Stealer of Souls. Okay. So I'm going to stay with Dis because I've got a pretty good Dis board right now. Reap with my Ember Imp. I'm going to play a Charette. So capture that 3 Amber. I will Reap with Snudge to bounce the Stealer of Souls. And I'm just going to Reap again with the Terror. So if I can't do anything good with my Dis house, I'm going to hop into the Shadows. I've got all but 1 card of Shadows in my hand. And my Shadows deck, my Shadows house of this deck is definitely one that needs a turn to get set up, because a lot of them are use abilities, like I said before. Urchin's one of the few that does something on play. Let's see what my opponent can pull off here. If they have a board clear, they're in a pretty good spot. So I play a Bumpsy, so I lose 1 Amber. Play a Rogue Ogre. Okay, so I Forge. He wasn't able to keep me from forging. I think I'm going to stay with Dis. And I'm just going to keep Reaping to force my opponent to have to deal with it. And I'm going to bounce that Rogue Ogre, because I don't want my opponent to have that Schuler back, because they could make me lose Amber. So right now it looks like my opponent, at least for now, hasn't been drawing any way to deal with a large board. So I'm just trying to keep pushing Amber. And right now I have 4 Disc Creatures. It's my most efficient Reaping house right now. So I can just keep Reaping that way. But they kill my Ember Imp finally. So now they can play any number of cards. They're in House Brobnar. Okay. I've only got 3 discs now, so I think I'm gonna drop my Shadows house. I'm still gonna keep playing to the left. So I'm gonna Reap with yeah, I'll Reap with Silvertooth. Let's see, play a Dodger. Play a Moon Cursor. I'm going to hold this Urchin, because my opponent has nothing to steal, and my Urchins are one of my best steal mechanics. So I'm just going to hold on to them until I actually need them. And there's my Arise. So I was playing Arise, or hoping to draw Arise, so now if my opponent can't discard my hand, I can just hold on to that to set up a really big recycle turn of all my Shadows creatures or all of my Sanctum creatures, so I can get that epic quest off if I see that. So I've got a few options right now. It just all depends what my opponent's going to do. Okay, so my opponent's doing some fighting. Based on that, I'm going to end up playing some Shadows here. So I'm going to use Naughty the Thief's action, steal 1, Moon Cursor's action, or sorry, to fight, because they get fight, steal 1, and they have skirmish and poison. So as long as they do damage, they kill their target, and they do not take damage in return. So I'm going to kill this Rogue Ogre. Silvertooth will reap. I'm going to play out an Urchin to steal another one. Play out another Dodger. Play out my Fagin. And that puts me on check at 9 amber toward my second key. My opponent has 4 amber, 0 keys. So, even without playing cards for a couple rounds, you can see how quickly this board vomits creatures. You can also see that they really aren't that powerful. My strongest creatures in this deck are out of House Dis. And yeah, so my opponent had no answers, so they conceded. Pop my deck list up again. I'm gonna hop into another lobby in a second. So you quickly saw the power of this deck if an opponent doesn't have answers to a fast board. The problem being, if my opponent does have answers to the fast board, I can't get set up, so I can't do what this deck is meant to do. So even with how ridiculous this deck list looks, there are hard counters to it, and it's very frustrating on my end because I've had, I think, 3 of the 4 games I've lost. I've not forged a single key. So when I win pretty well. When I lose, I get slaughtered. And I do like to track casual play, so I'm tracking my wins and losses here. The deck is 12-3 is what I had, sorry. Alright, so we're hopping into the next game. My opponent, I'm going to be going first. I'm just going to mulligan. I don't like that hand. Sorry, my opponent's going first, I'm going second. Alright, they play a Valder. I'm going to be playing Sanctum. Play a Champion Anafiel, Commander Remiel, and a Gorm of Am. I'm going to hold this Shield of Justice, because if my opponent doesn't do anything about Champion Anafiel, I can use him to clear to kill this Valder or someone else. They also did draw a pretty nice Shadows hand. Nope, so my opponent just killed my Anafiel, plays a Smash to stun my Commander Remiel, and plays a Bumpsy, and a War Chest. So it looks like they have a pretty aggressive deck. We will see how this deck does against it. So I'm going to end up playing Shadows here. Play a Dodger, and play Silvertooth, reap a Silvertooth. Why not? I'm gonna use this on the War Chest just to slow his Amber production down, because I know he can fight and kill 2 targets, so I don't want him to get 2 free Amber. So he plays House Dis, Mind Barbs, so makes me lose an Urchin. It's alright, I've got 3. Play a Library of the Damned, they play a Shaffle, so I lose an Amber at the end of each of their turn. Let's go Shadows again. I have Dodger fight that Shaffles. Silvertooth will reap, and I'm going to play out a Moon Cursor. So I am again playing Millchester's Farmer. It's a Dis Sanctum Shadows deck. And my opponent is playing MacIver, Lockrush's Chief, Brobnar, Dis, Shadows. They drop Poison Wave. So that kills off my Silvertooth, and that puts both my other creatures in killable range. I think I'm going to stay with Shadows to play my other Dodger. I'm going to use this Dodger to... I'm actually going to fight to get their Dodger off the board. Trying to keep my opponent's steel mechanisms in check, or their amber production mechanisms, while I'm trying to see what kind of hand I get. And I really don't mind my Sanctum creatures being killed, again because I have this Arise to bring them back. I can also use that Arise for all my Shadows creatures to flood the board if I want. So I'm going to play Dis. I'm going to play a Mind Barb. Made them discard their Arise, so that's a nice hit. My Charette will go out, and then I'm going to put out my Ember Imp. I don't want to play Arise yet because I don't have a need for it. I really want to hold that for blowout plays or for a really big board reset if he has a board clear. It's devastating if my opponent plays like a Coward's End or a Gateway to Dis or something that can clear my board. To just drop an Arise the very next turn and bring back my entire Dis house, or do some hand manipulation and then bring back all of my Shadow stuff. So I can do some pretty crazy stuff. I said stuff a lot on that turn. Let's put out a Toxin and then a Snudge. And we're going to Reap twice. I'm going to put this Flame Wreathed on my Ember Imp just to give him some more power and make him a little harder to kill. And that puts me on check at 6. Toward my first key, my opponent has 0 Embers, 0 keys. He does have House Shadows, so he could be lining up a bait and switch turn here or some other large steel play, because he hasn't played a lot of Shadows yet. And he's almost through his deck, so he's probably got a full hand, or almost full hand of Shadows. And we'll see if my opponent's... He's probably just going to fight across the board here. Okay, so he stuns across my board. He goes into check. Swung that in his favor for sure. So I am going to unfortunately have to play Dis. So I'm going to be a turn behind here. We'll see what I can do about it. I'm going to remove these stuns. And I will play Arise to grab a whole bunch of Shadow stuff here. So he beats me the Forge on the first key. Not too far behind, but he does have a much better board than me. So this is just showcasing that my deck struggles when it gets behind on creating a board state. I had a couple clunky hands at the beginning of this game, but we'll see if I can turn it around with some big Shadows plays. Yeah, so he's using his board to maintain board dominance. Probably gonna fight one more and then 2 Reaps, yep. So the nice thing about the way he's playing is he's forcing himself to actually diminish his own board. So we'll see how that plays in my favor, if it plays in my favor. I'm going to play a Naughty the Thief. Let's play my Dodgers. Then let's play a Silvertooth. The reason I'm actually switching up how I'm playing everything is I'm trying to plan putting certain creatures in a flank and others near a flank and others inside the whole order, just because he has House Dis, so he could play a Hand of Dis and hit some of my better creatures. And then I'm going to fight just to help bring his board back down. So I'm going to take out this Crump. So I'm going to check with 6. He's got 1 key, 1 amber. I draw into a Nerve Blast and then my Fagin. He's playing House Shadows now, drops a Bullet Eye and now an Urchin. So I'm out of Forge range. He plays another Urchin, so I'm definitely out of Forge range. And I can't let this Bullet Eye stay out, so I'm going to play Shadows and use a Nerve Blast to kill the Bullet Eye. And what other targets do I want to get rid of? Well, I'm going to use Naughty to steal 1. Bad Penny to reap, because that's about all she's good for. I don't have any Seeker Needles or anything, or Pawn Sacrifice in this deck, so she doesn't do any of her return to hand nonsense. If she keeps getting bounced to my hand, I honestly just discard her. But I'm going to use my Moon Cursor to fight, and I'll take out this Troll. And then I'm going to just reap with both of my Dodgers because I have nothing to steal. And really hope my opponent doesn't drop a huge bait and switch here. It's the downside of playing without looking at your opponent's deck list. So they play Shadows really quickly, which worries me. Yeah, there it is. there it is. I knew that was coming. Alright. They only have 2 creatures on the board that are Shadows, though, so see what other tricks they've got. They probably have a pretty decent sized hand of Shadows cards. Alright, they're just gonna fight twice to get rid of my Moon Cursor. Or sorry, fight to get rid of my Moon Cursor. And then fight to get rid of my Bad Penny. Alright, so I'm going to play Shadows. Just going to drop this Bad Penny. Steal 1 with Naughty. Dodger will fight against that Silvertooth. This Dodger will fight that Toxin. Urchin is going to reap. Fagin's going to reap. So then I'll take that Fagin from play back to my hand and then play it out again. So when this board's just sitting with the Shadows board out there, I can abuse Fagin. I can abuse Naughty. I've got all kinds of on-use effects that steal Amber. So I'm just hoping my opponent doesn't see any answers to it. Let's see. So my opponent's playing Dis. That's what they have. They have Library of the Damned. Yep, so they're going to archive something. So they're probably trying to set up a bigger Shadows turn here. They've used a lot. Oh, they've used Hysteria. So they're just trying to reset my board. Which is probably going to work. It's going to set me back a turn at least. Maybe more. But that key to Dis worries me. So I actually don't want to drop all of my Shadow stuff because I don't want to risk losing them. I'm going to drop my Sanctum. So I'm going to play a Bulwark and a Staunch Knight. I'm going to play Shield of Justice so my creatures can't take damage this turn. And I'm going to use Inspiration just to have Staunch Knight ready and fight to kill this Pit Demon. That way they have to have Steel out of hand to keep me off of my Forge, and I'm hoping they don't have it. So they choose Brobnar. I wonder if they're going to trigger the key to Dis right now. They're probably going to wait for me to build a much bigger board to drop that, which means they're probably going to slow play creatures. Nope, so they're going to... So Brobnar, so they might be dropping a bunch of Brobnar creatures now. Or at least whatever ones they have. 2 Crumps. I think that's just, he's got 3 Crumps in that's pretty cool. So now I do want to drop my Shadows House again, because he can only fight and kill 2 from what I'm seeing. So I can Urchin to steal 1. Bad Penny. Play a Naughty on the left. Play my 2 Dodgers. The fun thing about the main creatures of this deck is that they are all elusive. So Fagin, Urchin, Naughty the Thief. Makes it harder for my opponent to be able to actually fight to kill them. They need a lot of out-of-hand damage, or they need to dedicate 2 creatures per attack. So he kills one of my Dodgers, so I lose an Amber. I do draw my Epic Quest. I've already spent my Arise, so getting that Epic Quest off is probably not going to happen. Ooh, they play the Earthshaker again, so they have a second Earthshaker as well. I think, unless they... Nope, they bounce back the hand with that Hysteria. Huh. Okay. I am going to play Dis to Gongoozle this Crump. Discarded a Fear. Okay, I don't know why that card's not showing up. I'm going to play my Gobos Longarms. And then play a Terror. If you can see the art right there, whoop, that thing right there, that's the Terror art. So I've got a whole wall of all the Keyforge posters behind me. Professor Climber, I like that. My band teacher used to call me that in high school. She was convinced I was always going to get my PhD, and I'm struggling to finish my master's. Alright. Let's see. Well, my opponent just shuffled. I can't tell what's in their archives. So I'm going to play Shadows. Use an Urchin to steal 1. Pop out my Bed Penny. And then a Naughty the Thief. Puts me at 2 amber toward my third key. My opponent's at 5 toward their second. He plays his moon or his urchin and his naughty. So we've got a fairly similar Shadows house here. Except for that master plan. Never mind. I definitely don't have that. I'm not going to be able to prevent them from forging. So let's just go and play Sanctum. Let's play a Staunch Knight. Hey Shelly, I am doing alright. Got home safely from work through this whole blizzard and playing some Keyforge. Let's put that on my naughty. Then I'm gonna play an epic quest just because I'm about to shuffle. How are you doing tonight, Shelly? Kaylee got a Horseman deck, huh? I played against, did you watch the stream last week when Joe kicked my ass with his Horseman deck? Oh, man. Well, congrats to Kaylee for the first Dis deck she gets actually having Horseman as well. I saw someone online still trying to sell a double Horseman deck for, it was like $550. No, thank you. Alright, so my opponent steals 1 by fighting with Umbra to kill my bad penny. So under their master... well, hold on. Oh, they played Treasure Map, okay. Master Plan... played Control the Weak. That will probably win the game for him. That was a good play. Let's see what house they stick me into. Probably anything other than Shadows. I don't think I could get them. Don't think there's anything I can do, unfortunately. So I will just play Shadows, not take my archives. Let's play an Urchin. And play a Bad Penny. Wish I had 2 more Urchins. Alright, so that showcased pretty well what happens to this deck when my opponent gets board dominance. It doesn't bode well for me. What ends up happening? I end up just kind of floundering for a while till I build a board. So again, not infallible, just a really fun deck that's fairly strong. I think it can definitely catch certain decks completely off guard. Just gonna hop into the next game here. I think I did play that Arise too preemptively. I got a little over anxious about all the Shadows creatures I had in my discard, and I think if I played a little more cautiously, I probably could have drawn into my Epic Quest with a good Arise play, which could have pulled that game back for me. I'm going to be going first. I don't mind the starting hand actually, because my opponent, I'm going to be going first and I have a Terror, so I'm just going to keep my hand. It's going to get me 2 Amber right off the bat. Opponent plays Mars with a Sniffer. That's going to hurt against me. I've got a lot of elusive creatures in this deck. I will, however, let's go ahead and stay with Dis. So I'm going to Reap, play a Toxin, and play a Gabos Longarms. Gabos Longarms is a lot of fun. Basically, use him to attack into an elusive creature so he doesn't take damage in return, and then I dump 5 damage to any creature of my choice. If there aren't any elusive creatures on the other side, then I can always just pick someone of 1 or 2 power and do that once or twice. I am going to end up staying with House Dis here. So Gabos is going to fight into this Mind Warper to kill the other Mind Warper, and then I'm going to Reap and Reap. Opponent discards a Cooperative Hunting. They say Untamed. They drop a Pit Lord Maverick. Interesting. Huh. And they haven't killed it, so now they have to claim Dis as their active house when they don't have Dis in their deck. So they're just going to try and kill Pit Lord. So the best thing for me to do is just going to stay in Dis here. Reap, have them discard a card, so they lose a War Drummer. Reap with the Terror, and Gabos Longarms will fight into that Mind Warper and do damage to the Vizima Think Drone. So I'm on 7 Amber, my opponent has 0, and they must choose Dis. Which is... this is a weird Maverick. I don't know how I feel about that. Because they essentially have to kill it with a Cooperative Hunting on the turn that they play it, or have some way to return creatures to their hand. Yeah, that's an immediate concede from them. Pop this deck list back away. So quick chat with the opponent here. So this weird interaction that happens here is Pit Lord is a Maverick inside a House Untamed. His text doesn't change though, so he still forces you to play House Dis. Unfortunately, when you choose House Dis, your opponent, or when you choose House Dis, this Pit Lord is technically House Untamed, so you can't even use him. So you end up locking yourself out. You can concede or hope your opponent really fucks up and allows you to play. That's why I wasn't doing anything to touch this guy, because it locked my opponent out. I'm going to pop up my deck list here real quick, and I'm gonna grab some chapstick because I forgot my addiction. I'll be right back. Okay, crisis averted. I'm back. Let's just keep grinding away. I'm going to pop up another marker here. So I'm curious what everyone that's watching, what your, maybe not your strongest deck, but your most fun deck. This is definitely the most fun I've had with a deck in a while. I'm going to keep this hand. Play Sanctum and drop this Gorma Bomb. That's why why I've enjoyed this game. It's just a ton of fun. There's a lot of stuff you can do that's really weird. There's also a lot of stuff you can do that's really powerful. Looks like my stream dropped out there for a second, but I think I'm back. Again, bear with me. Internet's been crazy today just because of the weather. So I'm just trying to see how long the stream will last. I am going to stay with Sanctum here. Drop a Bulwark. And then flank him with 2 Staunch Knights, which seems like a pretty powerful play here. So I did draw my Epic Quest. It's a card that I don't want to play early because I do need these Sanctum creatures to help me maintain my board. And they add a lot to my board. Like I've got 6 power Staunch Knights with 4 armor each. So those are hard to kill through battle. Not that hard to kill through other means like board clear or directed damage, but opponent plays a Phosphorus Stars to stun everything that's not Mars. Sorry, just getting work texts here that I am expected to be at work as normal tomorrow. So the blizzard wasn't that impressive about Blizzard, and I'm actually disappointed in Mother Nature. Didn't want to give me another day off of work. Alright, I am going to play Dis. Have a Stealer of Souls here to the right, then a Snudge, and a Toxin. And I'm going to Gongoozle just to kill this Toxin. Couple Integrated Key Jars. Yeah, I don't know if it's Twitch or if it's me. I know my internet's been in and out last couple weeks. Living out in the boonies, my internet's not the most stable. When it is stable, it's crazy fast. But for the time being, I can't tell if it's me or if it's Twitch, so just hang in there. They play hand a Disc, kill my Bulwark. That deck. That sounds like a crazy deck. Hunting Witch with Crystal Hive, John Smith, and Key Charge. I don't have a deck that plays a really good Untamed. I don't have a ton of Amber Burst that comes out of any of my decks, and it's really frustrating. I'm gonna play Dis to Reap with a Toxin. Get rid of that Way of the Wolf. I'm going to fight this Ember Imp to purge it and gain an Amber. And then I'm going to Reap with Snudge to bounce. I'm going to bounce this Dominator Bauble. I'm going to play my own Ember Imp and a Gabos Long Arms. I'm going to save my Charette. Live dashboard notification. What achievement did I get? Nice. Cool. So everyone that's watching, help me just got a new Twitch achievement. Averaging 5 viewers per video. Alright, my opponent plays a Flaxia. I don't have any way to steal Amber, but I do have a Charette to capture it. So let me play Dis, play a Charette, capture that Amber, then play a Terror to gain 2 Amber, because my opponent has 0. And then I'm just going to Reap. I'm going to bounce a Terror to my hand. Fun little trick you can see about this one. My opponent still has 0 Amber. I get 2 more. Say what? Toxin Reaps. They discard a card. Ember Imp Reaps. Gabos Long Arms will Reap. And I will end turn. Alright, the disc creatures are Charette, Jumble, Dust Imp, 2 Ember Imp, Terror and Toxin, and a Soul Snatcher. Well, that's fun. Not. Oh yeah, Soul Snatcher. What is that deck called? I think it's called a Penny Grinder. And it's a combo that requires Autocannon or Pingle Who Annoys. So one of those 2 cards that does 1 damage to a creature as it enters play, with Soul Snatcher and Bad Penny, and you can play Bad Penny 6 times in a round. So rule of 6, get a key from it, and play all your other cards. Yeah, I think someone called that a Penny Grinder, and that's hilarious. I love that name. I am going to play Dis. I'm just going to keep grinding out my Reap here. Pop that on my Ember Imp again. Snudge will Reap and bounce that Bear. Toxin will Reap. I hopefully discard it, and I do. Sniped it! Sniped it! Gabos Long Arms will Reap. Charette will Reap. The Terror will Reap and end turn. Puts me on 14 Amber to their 2. They do not have shadows, so they can't bait and switch. They can't too much protect. What are some other routine job? They can play a Drumble, which would capture all of my Amber, because I have 7 or more. They can play a Shatterstorm, which would make me lose 3 times the Amber that they have. But they're playing Dis, and so they play Dominator Bauble back out and an Arise to return the Ancient Bear from their discard to their hand for a chain. I don't know why they did that. That seems... Unless they have a full hand of Untamed, then that makes sense. Let's just stay with Dis. Let's just keep pressuring. Reap. Let's go ahead and discard before I bounce that Flaxia. I don't really care about her. And then just keep reaping. That's what Dory said, right? Just keep reaping. I'm on 15 amber at checkmate. My opponent has 0 keys, 2 amber. So even from last game, where I got my... Actually, it was a pretty good game. I wouldn't say my butt got kicked. It was a pretty close game. We kept bouncing back and forth. And then we go all the way to the other extreme, where my opponent doesn't have really any board clear. And once this deck gets a single house set up, I just abuse it. And each house has a really strong creature base. So whichever one gets set up, I can abuse it and maintain board control fairly well, as long as my opponent has no mass board clear or hysteria, poison waves, things like that that can clear a board fast. Alright, just keep popping the deck list up here. So again, for those that weren't here at the beginning, a very generous donor got me an item off of my Amazon wish list. It's the Elgato Stream Deck Mini, and you have no idea what that does unless you're also a streamer. It makes it really easy for me to swap between scenes, so I can end up popping deck lists up super fast, pop up my countdown, put markers, all that kind of stuff. It helps me focus more on being able to produce more content instead of killing 10-15 minutes per stream, me forgetting to do stuff. I just press a button and forget about it. Hop into another game here. Let's just keep grinding this stuff out. Alright, got another game going against B-Dog 500. I will be going second. And I've got 2 from each house, so I'm mulliganing. Draw into a huge Shadows house, or Shadows hand. Don't really like that early, unfortunately. But let's just go ahead and drop them anyway. It's Bad Penny. Urchin to the right. Naughty to the right. 0 point in playing this Nerve Blast, so I'm going to keep it. It's not a card I want to throw away. Right, my opponent doesn't reap at all, but they got a Titan mechanic that I don't like. 2 mothers and a Brain Eater. So crap. I'm gonna play Shadows. Let's drop a Dodger, then a Moon Cursor. I'm just gonna reap. Still no point in playing this Nerve Blast because my opponent doesn't have any Amber. Oh yeah, to return about no snow day tomorrow. I don't know. It was awesome that work got closed early today so everyone could get home safely before the storm hit, and then the storm actually didn't hit. And now everyone's freaking out that they have to go back to work tomorrow. But at least it was a nice day. I got to relax a bit. Didn't have to work as much as usual. Which is always a nice plus, especially when it's not my paid time off that gets taken away. Well, that's fun. My opponent drops 2 Virtuous Works, so they're already on a key. Cool. Play a Raiding Knight to capture 1 from me. See what I can do though. So 2 armor on there. Lots of upgrades. I've not seen 3 upgrades in a single house for a while. do probably need to play Shadows here to steal, but let's see if they're going to play. Okay. If I play this, I can only steal or capture 3, which will still be able to forge. I don't think I can steal enough. But let's go. Urchin will reap. Naughty will steal 1. I'm going to play a Nerve Blast to steal 1 and do 2 to this Titan Mechanic. And then this Moon Cursor will fight to take out this Brain Eater. And then Bad Penny will reap. I totally forgot that these upgrades gave this creature taunt. I probably would have gone back and played the Nerve Blast on the Mother to get rid of that. Not sure if that's going to make a huge difference. We'll see. I'm not a fan of that Titan Mechanic being out there. They also got a really good logo start with 2 Mothers and a Titan Mechanic and a Brain Eater. It's a really impressive Logos house Logos house of creatures that they're able to get such influential cards out so fast. They play an Interdimensional Graft, so they get my leftover 2 Amber when I forge. I also cannot fight the next round, which prevents me from stealing 1. They have 3 Mothers in this deck. A Doc booked in. That's a crazy house Logos in this deck. A Mabel, Villain of the Spooky Prison. Is this Archon's name? So they get 8 Amber. Wow. Don't think there's anything I can do about that. So I'm just gonna play Dis. Play a Charette to the left. Play a Stealer of Souls to the right, and a Terror to the right. Nothing I can do. I can't kill that Titan Mechanic right now, which is really frustrating actually. Don't think this one's going well. They're a full key ahead of me. They got 2 keys. I have 1. We're both sitting on 0 Amber. They have a significantly stronger board. I'm between 2 houses. They pretty much only have Logos out. And they're drawing 9 cards every round, which is stupid. Card draw is incredibly powerful in this game. Just being able to get through your deck faster than your opponent is a huge influence, and they're going to draw an extra 2 cards. So they essentially draw 11 cards, or draw up to a hand size of 11 every round. I call cheating. There's no way they can get all these cards out at once. Doc booked in as Rocket Boot, so they reap twice, draw 2 cards. And then reap. Man, that is a beefy deck. And they played a Fogify, I believe. No, that was last turn. With an Ember Imp Maverick in Logos. What? I can't do anything. I can steal 2, which will keep them off a key, but why? Let's go Shadows. Let's see what I can do. Bad Penny will fight this Mother. Urchin will fight this mother. Then Naughty will steal one, and Moon Cursor will fight to kill that mother and steal one. And then I will play Bad Penny out and turn. This is rough. Yeah, if I were him, I'd just keep spamming logos all day. Because you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 amber a turn. 6 and draw a card. And then he plays a Dexter. So he's seen... Man, he's played his entire House Logos already. Yeah, we can set that up. After this match, I can set up a private match. I can send you a message on Facebook. And then I'll send you the password of the private match, and we can set that up. That could be the last match of the night. Played Mark quite a few times. Played Joe last week and got my butt whooped. So hopefully I can redeem myself at your at your expense. Do you want to play against this deck, or you want to play against one that you haven't seen? Because you've gotten a sneak peek at this one. I don't know about that. There is fuck all I can do about this deck. I'm just gonna hit this. Play a Snudge. Play a Control the Weak. Let's say you have to play Sanctum. Play Toxin. Oh, let's just discard it. Let's discard the Arise and get out of this game, because that was awful. Jesus. Alright, I'm gonna leave game. I want to pretend that game never even happened. That was nuts. Alright, so this Morales Millchester's Farmer is officially 14-5. So what is that? I'm trying to do the math. Terrible at math, so let me pull up the calculator here. 14 out of 19 games, so it's at about a 74% win percentage, which is pretty strong. I am going to see what decks I've got. Yeah, let me pop over here. I don't have this deck list, but let me hop into Facebook. Let me turn my mic off for a second. Alright, so Shelly, I sent you a Facebook message. Honestly, I don't care if... whatever. People can know the password. Password to the lobby I'm setting up right now is Moo. M-O-O. Why? Because we live in Colorado, and I'm by a bunch of cows. Just gonna pop up my countdown banner here. Sorry, I keep popping my mic on and off, so bear with me. I'm turning it off so that everyone just doesn't hear my constant typing while we get a private lobby set up. Alright, see if we can get Shelly into this lobby here. So, again, I'd love playing against people that follow me, people that I've even played live, all that kind of stuff. So, if you're ever watching and you want to set up a private match, just go ahead and shoot a message in the stream chat. Send me a message on Facebook. Again, I didn't have any time this past week to set up my actual Crystal Hive webpage, Facebook page, but I will in this coming week. I don't know if I'll get it before my Friday stream, but I'll probably get to it this weekend. So I'm playing a completely different deck. I'm going to increase my card size here. Alright, let's pop into Streamlabs here. Let's pop back on the deck with the webpage here. So Shelly's going to be going first. I'm playing a deck called Rascal Vega, and she's playing Kia Chamber Chemist. I'm going to play, so they're playing second, I'm actually going to keep my hand. It's a pretty nice Sanctum starting hand. 2 creatures, all of my knights get +1 and taunt, +1 power and taunt, and I'm holding 2 knights. Let's go Sanctum, let's drop a round table. Protectrix, a Raiding Knight, and a Hallowed Blaster. I'd say that's a pretty good start to my hand. There again. This deck I've only played twice, just haven't gotten to it in rotation. Its deck list didn't impress me initially, so it's 1-1 right now. So see if I break the tie on the good or the bad side. Let's see. I don't like those John Smiths, so you know what we're going to do? We're going to play Shadows and be that douchebag. So let's go play a Nexus, play an Umbra, and then play a Lights Out and bounce both those John Smiths. Don't like those on the board. I don't like the action efficiency they bring. They really mess up a board. I have a crazy Mars board here that can just clear the board out with those 2 ammonia clouds. Grabber Jammer is a nice play too. So I'm looking at the deck list here. There's nothing super fancy. The House Shadows is fun. I won't say it's powerful, it's just fun. It's got a Speed Sigil, 2 Bullet Eyes, 2 Nerve Blasts, a Too Much to Protect, and a Poison Wave. And then my Sanctum house has Doorstep to Heaven, so that and my Too Much to Protect are my main amber control cards. They're not super game breaking. Bait and switch, I feel like, is less restrictive. Doesn't necessarily gain you as much amber, but too much protect is able to steal more amber, potentially, as long as your opponent has a lot of amber going. 2 Witches the Eye, I lost in the woods, so I lost my... Okay, so I lost my Umbra and my Protectrix. Way the Bear to give assault to this Witch of the Eye. I think this is as good time as any to play my Mars Ammonia Clouds. And then play a Grabber Jammer. To play a Squawker. To reap with that Grabber Jammer and capture 1 and gain 1. Gonna hold my other 2 Mars cards. And then talking about my Mars house, I have Deep Probe, which is a card that's really cool. If I know my opponent's building a really big house, like they play an Arise out of house, then I can just name that house the next turn. Get rid of all those creatures. Also have a Shatterstorm, which is a nice amber control. So I have a really big... Excuse me. Well, that was rude. It's getting late. It's getting that time. I'm an old man. I have a big amber control card out of each house. So I've got Shatterstorm in Mars. I've got Doorstep to Heaven in Sanctum. And then I have Too Much Protect in Shadows. So I do have some amber control. I don't have a ton. It's definitely not a controlled deck. This is definitely a mid-range deck. Just does a little bit of everything. Doesn't do anything super well. I am going to play Sanctum to have my Raiding Knight fight this Master of One. Then I'll Hallowed Blaster to heal him. Play another Hallowed Blaster. Play Protect the Weak to get an extra armor and just continue taunt. And then play Commander Remiel. So I do have 2 Nerve Blasts as well. So I've got 2 Nerve Blasts and Too Much Protect. So I currently have 5 amber. Shelly has 1 amber. And her keys cost 7, while mine cost 6 at the current board state. So I play Piranha Monkeys, does 2 damage to every other creature. So my Raiding Knight isn't touched because he had 3 armor. Good thing I've got these Hallowed Blasters out here. Returns both my Hallowed Blasters, which that's not fun. So let's go. I'm gonna play Sanctum. Just get those Hallowed Blasters back out. Reap with all these guys, because then this Commander Remiel will allow me to use my Grabber Jammer, which allows me to capture 1, gain 1. making some quick edits to my stream layout here, sorry. Okay. Alright, so she plays Mars, drops Crystal Hive, 2 John Smiths, and a Blip. So this is the most fun deck she was talking about. Okay, so I got my first key though. I think it is time to play Mars. So I'm going to play an Ammonia Clouds. Then I'm going to play an Ixaly Marauder to capture that Amber because I have 1 readied Mars creature. I'm going to Reap. So Ammonia Clouds can be a painful card against yourself, but if you play it smartly, or part of this is you're drawing it at the right time as well. If you draw it at the right time, you can have a pretty strong board clear with it. There aren't a ton of creatures in most decks that are always above 3 power, so you can at least kill most of someone's board. At the very least, you can kill some pretty crucial creatures, because the creatures that have really powerful abilities are generally power 3 or lower. Dis. She plays Life Ward, then a Dust Imp and a Flame Wreathed. Control the weak. Ooh, how's she gonna restrict me to here? Please pick shadows. Please pick shadows. No, they picked Mars. That's probably the smart choice there. Nice thing is, regardless of what they picked, I had a decent turn in any house. So I'm okay with that card being played at that time. I wasn't caught off guard too much. So let's go. Ixaly Marauder will Reap. Grabber Jammer will Reap. And I'm going to put a Biomatrix back up on that Grabber Jammer just to get it back should it die. Puts me on check toward my second key. I'm holding that Shatterstorm just for a nice Amber blowout. I have a really cool Shadow's Hand. Gonna be holding on to that too much to protect for a little while though. Shelly picks Untamed. She hasn't played a ton of Untamed yet. Actually, it's the house she's played the most of. Close with Dis as well. So we'll see what she's got. Nature's Call. That's a good one. So bounce 3 creatures to their opponent's hand, or to their owner's hands. Probably my Mars creatures. Yep. Let's play some more Untamed stuff, some Bodis Amber on it. Because I want to set up a nice... Oh, yeah, there's a full moon. So I'm getting set up for a really nice too much to protect turn here. Let's see if she can drop some more Untamed creatures for me. Nope, just one. That's alright, I forged a key, start of turn. Sequencing on this turn is very important. If I were to play these Nerve Blasts first, I'd actually put myself out of range of making too much to protect useful. So I can steal... Let's go ahead and play too much to protect. So I steal 2. And let's play a Nerve Blast. to steal another one by doing damage to Big Twig. Forget what upgrade she had on Dust Imp. I think it was Hazardous. Yeah, +2 power. So we want to kill the Dust Imp. I'm okay with just doing more to the Big Twig. And then sandwich this Raiding Knight between 2 Bullet Eyes. So I'm on 5 amber toward my 3rd key. She is on 4 amber toward her 1st. Battle Fleet. Let's see how many cards you can draw with that. That's a cool card. So you reveal, you get a bonus amber, which is always nice. And then reveal any number of Mars cards from your hand, and for each one you draw a card. So she revealed 1, 2, 3, and draws 3. Plays Combat Pheromones. Sample collection. Alright, that's cool. I know about that card, but it's cool to see it played like that. That was a really good play, taking both my Bullet Eyes, because my Bullet Eyes were going to wreak havoc to any type of board she was trying to build. Let's see. Make me think about this turn. I think I don't have anything to keep pressuring Amber too hard. She is on check to her 1st. I think I'm going to play Sanctum. Let's go ahead and start with a Doorstep to Heaven. So I will go up to 6 amber because I gain bonus amber first. Something a lot of people, not a lot of people, some people forget when playing is you resolve your card from top to bottom. That includes your bonus amber. So the first thing you do when you play a card is you gain your bonus amber. Then you go to written text. So I go up to 6 amber, and then the card text is anyone 6 or more goes down to 5. So then I go down to 5. I'm going to play my Bulwark to the right, and then I'm going to pop a Protect the Weak on my Bulwark, and I'm going to remove this stun. So it puts me into Forge range, puts me on checkmate. She has 5 armor toward her 1st. She still has I'd argue she has a better board than I do. It's 1 from each house, but she has more artifacts, more meaningful artifacts. And I have 2 creatures. They're very hard to kill, but it's 2 amber a turn. She seems to also have a lot more bonus amber in her deck than mine does. Hive gets 2 amber from Reaping with Ixley Marauder. Plays a Grabber Jammer, so my keys are 1 more. Please don't play Life Ward. Please don't play Life Ward. Life Ward would really suck right now. Because I do need the creature. Oh, yep. She said she wasn't going to watch, but I swear she's listening. Life Ward does make it harder for me to gain sway here. I think because everything in my hand is either lose all of my amber or play a bunch of creatures. So I'm just going to play Sanctum and reap twice. Call that a turn. She gets her first key. She claims Mars as her active house, grabs a crystal hive, so that's going to gain her 4 amber. She captures 2. Alright, she's got an interesting deck. This is frustrating. I'm just tinkering on being able to forge my 3rd key. She's doing everything she can to keep me from getting it. So she captures a total of 3 from me. A Poison Wave or Ammonia Clouds would be amazing from me. Actually, Poison Cloud wouldn't be too bad either. I think I am going to have to Shatterstorm to reset the tempo here. Let's see. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to wipe both of our amber. Play a Grabber Jammer to the left. Let's play to the right. And play a John Smith to the left. I'm going to hold this Ixaly Marauder to capture amber when able. It's going to be the battle of the Grabber Jammers right now. And I do draw my Speed Sigil. It's really late for that. I don't care about it right now. I want it on the board when I have a Bullet Eye, because that's a really cool combo to drop a Bullet Eye and immediately kill a flank creature while reaping, or from reaping. Chooses House Dis. Wonder what she's got in the store there. Fear. Probably bounce that Grabber Jammer. Blech. Nope. John Smith. Alright. Another Fear. Oh, that's frustrating as fuck. You didn't tell me I had 2 Fears, Shelly. See, maybe I need to start reading people's deck lists when I play it. It's gonna better prepare me for games here. Let's see, Succubus. Now what you should do is sacrifice this Combat Pheromones to use Grabber Jammer and a Marauder, and then use... Yeah, so you'd get 3. We'll see. I think she's building a much better board than I can maintain, so she might, if I don't get the right cards here in the next turn or two, she might pull this one back from me. Stun and exhausts a creature because he reaped. I think I'm going to play Shadows here. I think I've got a pretty cool turn if I can set it up properly. Let's go Shadows. Play the Speed Sigil. Opponent has 1 Amber. I'm going to Ghostly Hand, steal it and gain 2. Oops. Then I'm going to play a Dodger to the right, Umbra to the left. Dodger is going to fight and get rid of this Grabber Jammer. So I'm on 5 amber toward my 3rd key. She is on 0 amber toward her 2nd. She does have a better board than me, and I'm drawing 1 less card per turn because of her succubus, but I have a full hand of Mars cards, so I can at least get 2 bonus amber out of it. I could also play Mars to steal 2 amber. Just depends on how she plays her next turn. She claims Untamed. She still has a lot of her deck left. She shuffled before I did. So she's back through her deck. Yeah, I was going to say, here come the Witch of the Eyes, which she will probably reap to grab that Grabber Jammer again before I can forge a key. Yep. Oy. Big Twig is going to reap again to stun and exhaust another creature. So I got to my 2 keys pretty quickly, and she's managing to just stall me out here. And I'm scraping by to see what I can do to end up trying to pull this game back in my favor. Gets rid of my Hallowed Blasters. There's some interesting sequencing I can do with my Mars here to get some extra use out of my Grabber Jammer. Dust Pixie. That's a nice big Amber Rush turn there. Drops 5 amber. Still hasn't reaped with Big Twig. Nocturnal Maneuver to exhaust 3 of my creatures. Then Big Twig's gonna reap, and then stun exhaust my Bulwark again. So I can't use my board, so best thing I can do is just dump my Mars cards. I think she also has a key charge. Alright, let's go Mars. Speed Sigil is still out, so first creature I play is readied. So that'll be, I'll make that my John Smith. Then Ixley Marauder will come out, because I have 1 ready Mars creature, so he'll capture 1. Then I will play my Grabber Jammer. Then I'm going to play a Red Planet Raygun on John Smith. You know what? I'm going to play it on my Grabber Jammer. So I'm going to use John Smith to ready that Grabber Jammer anyway. I'm going to play Combat Pheromones. John Smith will reap. Ready my Grabber Jammer. Grabber Jammer will reap. So I get to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage to a creature. I want this Amber back, so I'm going to kill this Marauder. And I'm going to say end turn there. So I'm on checkmate with 11 amber to her 4 amber toward her 2nd. Hopefully she can't do anything about that. I got really lucky drawing into that full hand of Mars cards. Helps me set up a pretty good Mars turn. My cat is like begging for me to open the office door. Must be that time of night. She's like, Dad, I'm tired. Alright, so just sit and wait to see if Shelly has any answer to my Amber right now. She needs to make me lose. She's got a grabber jammer in hand, so she has to make me lose 4? Excuse me, 5. If she plays grabber jammer, my keys will cost 7. Then it comes in ready. She can reap and capture one, so that brings me down to 10 amber. She can use the Ixley Marauder to make me capture one of my own, which would bring me down to 9. So then she has to remove 3 more amber, at least out of House Mars. I don't know what trick she has in Untamed. Or Dis. I should play Dis. Maybe a Charette to capture 3. Yep, there's Charette to capture 3. Brings me down to 8 amber. She can always combat pheromones to use Ixley Marauder to make me capture one of my own. Shrek comes in readied. Alright. What are we doing? Comet Pheromones to pick creatures to use. Or actually cards, so she could use it to use Crystal Hive. Yeah. So Crystal Hive, the Reap with Ixley Marauder. Alright, and that'll be game. Alright. So managed to pull that one out. She didn't have any way to keep me off of a forge, even though she could have done a couple more things. She just ended her turn because she knew she couldn't get me down below what I needed to finish the game out. So I'm gonna pop up my panel here. Just pop my banner, leave the music going as always for a little bit. And it's been another awesome Wednesday with everyone. I'll be back on Friday from 9 to noon, 9 a.m. to noon Mountain Time. Don't know exactly what I'm going to be playing. I think I know the 3 decks I want to bring to my Master Vault. So I just wanted to give the test runs to my new deck, Morales Millchester's Farmer. And I think it did pretty well. It's got a pretty good win-loss record. It loses to one very specific type of deck. And since my Master Vault tour that's coming out here in Denver is a triad format, I can hopefully draft away from decks that are going to give it trouble. So stay tuned. Give me a follow on Twitch here. Give me a subscription over at YouTube. And then you can also hopefully find me soon on Facebook within the next day or so. If not, or sorry, within the next week or so. And until next time, check out the Crystal Hive. Catch you next time.